When the truth is found to be lies, know the joy within you. Darkness, don't you want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love? Welcome to Dave TV for the 18th of May, 2011, and that was Grace Slick Today. That's Grace Slick Today. That's what she looks like. This is Grace Slick back in the 60s. Where's Grace there? There she is in the back there. One of the greatest albums of all time, Surrealistic Pillow, from the Jefferson Airplane. And Somebody to Love. Now, bringing up Somebody to Love real quick. This is a great movie. A Serious Man. It came out 2 years ago. The Coen brothers. It didn't do a lot of business, but I think it is one of the greatest movies of all time. And it features this song very prominently in it. And it is very, very powerful. I strongly recommend that you get this, Netflix it or buy it or whatever. It is magnificent. It is the 1960s, a Jewish family living in Minneapolis, probably somewhat autobiographical of the Coen brothers themselves, and has a lot of cool music from that period, including The Airplane. So check this one out. Highly recommend it. All right, folks. We're going to do some extra information on the ratings. Yesterday, the big radio ratings dump for April came out, and we got the numbers, the 12+ beauty contest numbers up on DCR TV. And a lot of people were saying, "Hey, what are the rest of the numbers? The men numbers, the other stuff." I did some numbers yesterday, the 2554 in the mornings. We're brought to you by Tower Records. That's right. Another wonderful defunct record store, Tower Records. Okay, so let's take a look at some more numbers. We looked at the morning numbers yesterday in what they call the money demo, 2554s. So now let's look at the money demo for the afternoons. This is 2554 male and female numbers for Washington. And of course, WPRS Praise at 10, MMJ 102.3 at 9, Mix 107.3 RQX at 8, WAMU 88.5 at 7, WWDC 6th place, DC 101, WASH at 5th, WMZQ, WHUR, WIHT, and of course WTOP back at number 1. So there we go. These are the afternoon numbers in the 2554s. Now I'm going to take a look at the male demos. I don't know. Everybody always wants. I guess if you look at DCR TV's, good tea there. If you look at DCR TV's visitors, we tend to get a lot of men, and they tend to be interested in what men listen to. So let's look at some male numbers for the April period. These are men only, 2554. Okay, this is mornings. Okay, so we have Biaggi on El Zal at 10th, Lou and Laurie on WASH at 9th. It always surprises me that WASH does really well among men. I would always thought that to be a chickie station. 8th place is Tom Joyner on MMJ. 7th place is Boxer on MZQ. Mike and Mike on TEM do very well for a syndicated show. 6th place. Kane on Hot 99.5 is 5th among men. Now, I always thought he would skew better younger, and he does. But he does quite well with the older men. JFK, the Junkies, is in 4th place. WAMU Morning Edition 3rd. Elliot on DC 101 2nd. And, of course, WTOP is 1st. So these are the mornings, 2554, men only. Okay? Let's take a look at the midday. Let's take a look at the afternoons first. Here are the afternoon numbers for the men only, 2554. Zabin on TEM. WMZQ, WASH, El Zul, Hot 99.5, HUR, afternoon edition, or not afternoon, what is it? The morning edition, all things considered, right? Morning, all things considered, WWDC. Now there's it. Look at that. Arrington and Dukes get 2nd place in WTOP. Maybe the stress between LeVar Arrington and Chad Dukes is actually feeding the ratings, but they do surprisingly well there. So JFK, second place with LeVar Arrington there, who apparently in the mailbag we just learned he just turned 30. Man, he's getting old, ain't he? No, you can't trust anyone over 30. So anyhow, those are the afternoon men numbers. In middays, I wanted to look at just a midday snapshot here. Interesting. If you look at middays, here's how the two sports talkers in D.C. stack up. Wise and Holden Caulfield, Holden Kusher, whatever his name is, they get second place. And Corny and that show that comes after them with that guy with the high voice, they get 8th place. So interesting. JFK does, Mike Wise does very well in middays with the male demo. He doesn't come off so great when you look at the overall audience, but in the male demo, which JFK caters to, he does very, very well. So interesting there. Also, evenings. Wanted to look at this number for you. Evenings with men, 25-54. Look where JFK, look what they did. They went from 19th place in March to 6th place in April. And that has to be either the Nats and the Caps there, right? Because what did they do differently from March to April? They were carrying some evening sports there. So, I think, signing the Nats was a big, huge plus for JFK. So, a huge jolt in their evening ratings because of live play-by-play sports. Also want to look at some sad news here. WMAL. Here's why this station's in trouble. Look at this is probably their target demo, male 25-54. This is how they do. Look at it. The Citadel righty talker. This is their ratings. Mornings 19th, middays 15th, even with Rush Limbaugh. 15th, afternoons 19th, evenings 18th. Now, when you add the older demos, the over 54 crowd, they do very well. But MAL is skewing way, way, way too old. Well, again, what's wrong with, radio for old people, right? That's what WMAL is. And I wanted to also take a look at some Baltimore numbers. I don't have all the Baltimore numbers, but here's a couple interesting little snapshots. This is men 25-54. In the evenings, look at this. They're tied. Baltimore's WBAL, which carries the Orioles, news talker, is 4th place, and WJZ 105.7 is in 4th place with no Orioles. They've actually been concentrating on Ravens and football talk opposite the Orioles. Now, Jay-Z used to have the Orioles. They lost them this after last season, and they went back to the BAL. But it's interesting to see both stations are tied in evenings in that key male demographic. Also, we're hearing that Jay-Z is actually doing, 105.7 is actually doing quite well with its Orioles pregame show at 6 o'clock, even though it doesn't have the Orioles on the station. So that's kind of amazing. And also with the postgame show at 10 o'clock, 105.7 WJZ is actually doing 1st place. So folks are coming out of the game, right, getting in their cars, and they're not putting on BAL, they're putting on 105.7. Interesting. So anyhow, that's some Baltimore snapshot numbers there for you. All right, folks, that's the ratings update for today. Hopefully we won't have any more earth-shattering ratings numbers until May. Until the May numbers come out somewhere in mid-June. So there you go. Okay, folks, if someone wants to send me the female numbers, I'll put on a dress and I'll do the female number show, whatever. All right, folks, that's Dave TV for today. Have a good one, and don't forget to stay tuned.